Hi everyone, this video is a little bit different. I decided to go off on a little bit of a journey, and I've been trying to teach myself how to use watercolors. I found myself going down a rabbit hole the other day on Instagram, and I discovered andrea.nelson.art and Rebel Unicorn Craft, and they both do watercolor art, but they do easy watercolor art. I found myself watching them for hours and hours, and I got a lot out of it. So I thought I'd pull out my watercolors and have a bit of a play today with some of the techniques that they have done. Sometimes it's good just to step away from what you do normally and try something else. And being a little bit of a person who likes to do all sorts of art, I really struggle with watercolor, so I'm trying my best to learn how to use it by teaching myself at the moment. Maybe one day I'll pay for a lesson. But sit back and watch this. It's pretty self-explanatory. I'm just doing color swatches. The colors I'm using here are actually metallic watercolors. They're Montmartre metallics, and I gave them a spray with some water. I taped my watercolor paper down onto a board with my washi tape, and I just pulled out my brush and brushed away. The paper is dry for this technique, but if you stick around and watch to the end, you'll see I do a couple of other techniques as well. And I found this actually really relaxing and a lot of fun, and I didn't have to think too hard, which was good. Sometimes when you're doing fluid art, and especially if you're doing commission jobs, which I have been doing, you find yourself thinking a lot and your brain gets a bit full. So it's nice just to sit back and just do something simple, and if it turns out, it turns out, and if it doesn't, you've had a good play. How satisfying is that metallic paint swooshing around in the tub? I had to show you that. I thought it was pretty cool.
Where's Finn?
There's no rush with this, just take your time. Practice doing different brush strokes. I'm doing 2 different brush strokes on the different pieces of paper, and I had a lot of paint on the brush, so I didn't want to waste it, so that's why I used the second piece of paper, which I might actually turn into something later on. It doesn't have to be perfect, it's just putting paint on paper. Coming up, you'll see the paper towel that I was washing my brush off on. There it is. Look how pretty that is. The sparkle in it is beautiful. So I keep it. And here is the painting finished and drying. I leave it taped down while it's drying just to stop the paper bending if it will bend. I don't think it will because there's not much water on this paper. And the paints are already sparkling. So they're pretty beautiful and they dried pretty quickly. Now for the next technique. This one here, I was inspired by my piece of scrap paper that I was brushing my paintbrush off onto. So I thought I would just do tape off the paper and just do a whole lot of different colors all blending into one. With this technique, when it's dry, you can actually then get yourself an art pen or an ink pen and just draw around the outlines and practice creating different types of art. I also saw that on the Instagram pages that I was watching, and I'll put both those girls' links, if I can, down in my description box, but if not, they're on Instagram, so go check them out because they're pretty cool to watch.
Where's Min?
And here it is dry. I'm taking the tape off and I'll just leave it probably for a couple of days before I think about drawing on it. I actually quite like it just the way it is. It would actually make a really good cover for a card if you do birthday cards or anything like that. So yeah, it was good fun. Okay, this is the last one. So now I'm going to challenge myself. I've pulled out my other watercolour paints, which are also Montmartre, and I'm going to attempt doing a scene, or a landscape I should say. I'm going to wet the whole canvas with this one, or wet the whole piece of paper with this one, and then work with only a couple of colours, but making them lighter and darker as I go down, creating, I hope, a scene of mountains, with mountains in the background and mountains in the foreground. So we'll see how I go. With all the watercolor tutorials that I have watched, the artists always start with the lightest first and going into the darkest when they're doing a scene. They also let their layers dry. So if you want that definition between mountains, which I'm looking for, you need to have the layer underneath dry first so you can get a sharper line. Just here I'm putting the colour down and blending it down, and this is where I realise that it's not dry enough yet and I need to have the layers drier, otherwise, because it's just bleeding in. So I leave it. I actually get my heat gun out and give it a bit of a blast with that, and now I start moving on. I'm only using my blues. I'm just using different mixes of the blue, more water, less water, more paint, and as I move down I move into the purple, but not a lot of the purple, and I mix them all still with a blue just so that they've all got the same hue in them.
Where's Finn?
So this artwork won't by any means be perfect. I'm learning, but I'm actually enjoying the process and seeing how far I can push the paint. And you actually don't need a lot of paint. It's you use a very small amount of paint when doing this type of technique. Most of it's water. So I hope I haven't waffled on too much. I hope you enjoyed the different video. I know it won't be for everyone, but I like to do a little bit of everything on my channel. So for those who enjoy it, thank you very much, and I would love for you to leave me a comment.
Where's Min?
And here's the finished product. I'll turn it round for you in a minute. When putting clouds into the sky, the videos I watched, you put the paint down, then you take the paint away, or you can use masking fluid. I do have masking fluid, but I haven't tried using it yet. Oh, no, I'm still going. So I'm trying to work on the clouds now, and I was putting a little bit of grey in to give them a bit of depth, and then I was dabbing it away just so it's not too pronounced. And maybe I made a mess of the sky, I'm not sure, but I'm leaving it for now the way I've done it, and I will look at it later on and see how it is. If I don't like it, I can always go back over it with my watercolour. That's the beauty of watercolour. I hope you like this video. Please do all the YouTube things that we like you to do. Ring the notification bell, like and subscribe, and if you really like the video, I'd love for you to share it amongst your friends. Thanks for watching, everyone, and I'll see you soon.
Where's Min? Where's Min?